Welcome to Christian Warrior. My name is Keith. In this episode, we're going to talk about a security team member at a church that had his throat slashed when he tried to stop a man from exposing himself and urinating in front of and on the church. Now, the weapon used was a box cutter. I'm putting together my church crime newsletter for this week. This is the second attack on a church worker with a box cutter. Now, if you want to know about incidents like this, make sure you sign up for my newsletter over at christianwarriortraining.com. Every Saturday, hopefully every Saturday, I put out a newsletter on church crime the previous week. There is always crimes of violence and they're against church security teams and church workers and church members. It is becoming very violent. I'm waiting for 1 week where it's just burglaries and like minor stuff, but it's not. There's always major stuff in there. I put in training points, what you can do to make yourself safer, what you can do to protect your church. Head on over to christianwarriortraining.com, sign up. And if you like this content, the best way to support me, because my training is always free, the newsletter is always free, but if you want to support me, you can do a paid membership for the newsletter. What does it do? It allows me to buy nice equipment so I can keep doing videos for you and put content out for you and have people help me do some of the things that we're doing. But if you can't pay, no worries, 100%, this will always be free. Even if $0 come in, we'll make it happen. All right, let's get into the incident. John Match, he's a devoted worker at the Immaculate Conception Church in the East Village of New York City. I know a lot of you people are thinking like, oh, this is New York City. Look, man, this stuff, go read the bulletin each week. It happens in regular America too. Now, John is housekeeper. He is security. He's kind of the all-around man at the church. He's there every day. In this particular incident, he sees a man whip out his penis, exposing it in front of everybody, and was peeing between two cars, and at some point tried to pee or did pee on the wall of the church. You're absolutely within your right to stop that person. So John confronted him. During the confrontation, the man made threats to the point that John thought that he was going to be attacked, so he punched him and knocked him down. Nothing wrong with that. If a man says that he's going to attack you, 100% he's going to attack you. Believe every threat somebody gives you. If they say they're going to shoot you, stab you, it's coming. So get ready. We're going to do a video later on how to identify pre-attack indicators, meaning there are things that people do besides just tell you that they're about to attack you. And so we're going to give you those pre-attack indicators. They're the same indicators I use to protect myself, to keep myself from getting shot, stabbed, punched. Over 30 years, did well. What finally got me was contacting some homeless guy that gave me some nasty disease, and now I'm suffering for it forever. But we'll do that. We'll do a separate video on homeless people and dealing with homeless later on. But we'll do that pre-attack indicators video as well. So John punches this dude, he goes down, he runs away, kind of makes some kind of indicator he's going to come back. Later on in the service, John is helping a woman bound to a wheelchair up the wheelchair ramp when the suspect comes up from behind and slashes John's neck from his ear down to his chin. Misses the carotid artery. Had he hit that carotid artery, I'm not sure John would have lived. So obviously God was looking out for John that day, which we know God is looking out for all of us, which is absolutely glorious. John is a true warrior, whether he knows it or not. John, I hope you're watching this. You're a stud. John rips off his long johns, ties it around his neck to stop the bleeding, and chases the suspect. John, you're the man. John couldn't catch him, but the man ran off laughing. Now, the police, it sounds like the police know who the man is. It sounds like they've got him on video changing his clothes. They've figured all these things out. It sounds like they probably identified him listening to the police statement, but they haven't made an arrest yet. And I know some of you are wondering, well, why haven't the police made an arrest yet? When you work in a liberal area, like New York City, or for me, my jury pool was Oakland and Berkeley. When you work in these liberal areas, you have liberal DAs that look for a reason to not charge the case. So what you end up doing is delaying making an arrest when you clearly can make an arrest. You delay making an arrest because you're creating a rock solid case, and that takes time. So that way, when you arrest them and you present it to the district attorney, you are forcing upon them a great case that they need to do the right thing and charge. But it's New York City. Don't expect much. You probably got released on bail already. Okay, so shout out to New York City PD. They are great cops. They're doing good things. I have no doubt that guy's going to be brought to justice. And shout out to John. You're a stud, dude. You did a great job. Let's go into what you can do to protect yourself in a similar situation to keep yourself from getting attacked. John, you did a great job. Here are some tips, though, to protect yourself even further. If you ever confront somebody for something similar or for any reason whatsoever, you need a second person minimum. Always do things with a partner. And then here you're going to use something called contact cover, which is going to be another video that we need to do. But basically what contact cover is you're going to form a triangle with the suspect at the top of the triangle and then you and your partner at the bottom. You have the contact officer and the cover officer. The contact officer makes contact and talks to the person, hey, stop it, move along, do whatever. Cover officer is just there to watch his back to make sure a second person doesn't attack him, that if he does get attacked by the suspect, he can jump on too and hurt that person or keep people away, or tell somebody, hey, call 911, tell them we need the police, something along those lines, right? So always have a partner, always be about 8 feet minimum from the suspect. You need time and distance to be away from the suspect if he decides to initiate an attack. Now within 8 feet and they have a knife, you need to use your hands to stop the threat because you are not going to pull your gun. It's going to take you 1.5 seconds knowingly, not including reaction time, to draw and pull your gun. If you're doing it from concealment, it's going to be longer. You're going to have to use some open hands. So that's why you want a little bit of distance, right? If the suspect makes a threat and says like, hey, I'm going to beat you, believe it, and then be ready for that. If somebody says they're going to slit your throat, believe them that they're going to do that. Always be ready that if you end out, if let's say after the punch and he leaves, just know that guy's going to come back, because if you make somebody look dumb, which John, you did, you punch him in the face and he went down, couldn't defend himself, he looked dumb, he's going to come back for retribution. So you need to post people outside and be ready for that person to come back. And when you see them coming, you identify and tell them, no, you stay away, get back, and then get ready for some kind of an attack. That is actually a very common thing. So be ready for that suspect to come back and do some kind of retaliation. The other thing you want to do is you want to go to your church and you want to look at this incident and you want to recreate it and put your people through it. We have a video on reality-based training and how to do that. I would recommend that you get some airsoft guns, protective equipment, proper protective equipment, get a rubber knife, and then simulate this exact scenario and to see how unreasonable it is for you to shoot somebody if all of a sudden they're peeing and then pull out a box cutter and try and stab you. Go ahead and push off those distances. I just wrote an article on the fallacy of the 21-foot rule. The 21-foot rule. There is no rule, but people made that rule, or they turned it into a rule. It's never been a rule, but whatever. A lot of controversy behind that. Go back and read my article about it. I talk about people attacking you with a knife and how you're going to deal with that. But you want to recreate these. So every time I put one of these videos up, you really need to go back and recreate that in your scenario. So we do scenario training at least quarterly. We're going to do some in February. We'll probably film it and put it up here so you can see it. And you want to recreate those exact incidents. Don't forget to subscribe. I'd appreciate all you people that keep watching and don't subscribe. Hit subscribe. It helps me. That's all I got for now. Always remember your ABCs. Always be caring.